She came to him and asked, Lord, do you not care that my sister has left me alone to do all this work by myself? Tell her to get up and help me. Where is Mary? She's at the feet of Jesus, listening to every word he says. She's not helping with the housework. She's not doing anything. She's just sitting at the feet of Jesus, listening to every word he says. Martha, Martha, the Lord said, you're worried and you are upset about many things. But there's only one thing that's really important. One thing is really needed. And you're worried about all other things. And all kinds of other things have become important to you. But Mary has chosen what is better. And it will not be taken away from her. Wow, what a word. When you look at that, you think about what the Lord is saying here, is that there's a lot of things in life that have become important to many of us. Lots of things that have become the most important thing to do. I've got to do this. I have to do this. I have to go there. I have to get this done. I have to go to work. I have to do these things. I've got to meet this person. And the thing is Jesus is saying, if we're not careful in life with the things that are sort of important, that are some things are very important. Some things are not so important, but they still have an importance. Jesus says if we're not careful, we will get distracted by the things that are not so important, by worrying about those things and by being distracted by those things to keep us from the most important thing. And what is that? Mary said for her, it was just being in the presence of Jesus. It was the most important thing. The most important thing on her agenda was sitting at the feet of Jesus. Sitting in his presence. Listen, you got to understand that Mary chose the important thing. And all of us have important decisions to make. Every day of our life. As fathers, we have to make a choice. As mothers, we have to make choices. As young people, as students, we have to make choices every day. But then, again, we've got to realize that the choices that we make, some of those are going to affect us, and some of those are going to affect us big time. Some of those things are going to worry us and distract us from the best thing in our life that we could be having and could be enjoying, rather than the things that are not so important. You all know that I enjoy college football. I really like it. I'm really not that big on basketball. I know that basketball's right now, I'm hearing a lot of hype about that. I'm not into NASCAR. I'm not into a lot of other sports. I don't know when the Braves are playing. I know that sounds crazy to some of you guys. I'm not real big into baseball, but I love college football. I love it. I love to watch it. I don't even care who's playing. But I got in a place one time in my life where I would watch my favorite team and I would get very upset when my team would lose. Which, that's been a couple of years. But what I'm saying is, it would really bother me. It would disappoint me. It would get me down. And to finally to the place where the Lord convicted me of it and said, this is not that important. This is not that important. So important that it ruins your day. It ruins your weekend because you missed the game. They're going to be able to play it fine without you. But I got so deeply ingrained into that my world was sort of revolving around that. And I still love it. I still like it. But I've gotten to the place where it's just not that important to me anymore. And I guess one of the reasons why is because there's more important things that have happened in my life. There's some things that's going on in my life right now that is the most important thing on the earth. I want to take care of my family. I realize that every day is a bonus. I realize that just spending time with family is more important than anything else really that I could be doing with my time. I realize that there's things that's got to be done, but you know, there's some people that their most important thing is to work. Work, 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 work. Gotta have more money, gotta have more money. So we have more things, have more things, have more things. And I'm going to work 7 days a week. You know what? If God would make it 10 days a week, I'd work every one of those too. I would work every day if I could. I'd never take a break because there's always more money to be made. And they're never satisfied. And you know what? They don't have much of a family life. Their kids don't know each other. The kids don't know their parents. And so you have to come to the place and the conclusion of saying, what is the most important thing? What's the most important thing that I need to be doing? Yes, I need to make a living, but my family needs to see me too. And I have to realize that making a living is not so I can have money. Making a living is so I can bless my family. Yeah. Right? And it's not just that. When we come to the spiritual aspect of it, Mary chose the most important thing at that moment because she saw an opportunity to get into the presence of God. And by the way, she wasn't at church. She was in her home. She was in her home. Which tells me that we can get in the presence of God wherever we are. We don't have to be on Sunday in church. We can be in our home. We can be at our workplace and somehow get in the presence of the Lord. And that can be the most important thing. It didn't mean that Mary was snatched out and sort of beamed out of her natural being into a spirit where she was just sort of hovering over somewhere. It simply meant that she said, you know what, today the dishes are not that important. Today the vacuuming is just not that important. I need to be with Jesus. I need to be with the Lord. That's the most important thing in my life right now. It's not that I get this television program in or get this television program in or that I make sure that this is done. Some things need to wait so that you can get in the presence of God, because that's the most important thing. You know what? Jesus made a statement, and this is what he said. Listen. He said, she has chosen the most important thing, and it will not be taken away from her. That's a big statement, and this is why. Virtually everything in this life can be taken away from you. Virtually everything. Your career can be taken away from you. Your job can be taken away from you. You could go back home today and your home just be a stack of rubbish and a stack of just kindling where maybe a storm had hit or lightning had hit or it caught on fire and, you know, it could just be a heap of ashes. Or you could go in tomorrow to the job you've been working for several years and realize that they're closing the company and they're moving to another country. It's happened to a lot of people here. You may realize that your family doesn't live forever. Your mom and dad do not live forever. Your grandparents do not live forever. Your friends do not live forever. Your children do not live forever. And some of us have learned that very difficult lesson. That every day is a bonus. Every day. Our money, we put a lot of stock in our money and our health. We don't know it right now, but for some of us, we may have something wrong with us that's terminal in our very bodies that we don't even know about. We could have a major artery that's blocked right now. We could have cancer, and we don't know about it. Some of us could have some things. So what I'm saying to you is that virtually everything in life that we have put a lot of importance in can be taken away from us. But Jesus said, my presence cannot be taken away from you. It's the one thing in your life that can't be taken from you. It's the one thing that's always going to be if you want it to be. If you want to choose to be in my presence, you can always have it. Job discovered that everything he lost everything. And it can happen to us. It really can. Job is our example that nothing on this earth lasts forever. Job is our wonderful example that relationships can fall. People that we love can pass away. That our wealth may not last forever. That all of our belongings and materialistic things and houses and barns do not last forever. But the one thing that Job held on to was the most important thing. And if you got Jesus, you can build your life all back over again. Because he is the solid foundation that we can reconstruct our broken lives on.